So if you're building something that has the potential to be incredibly risky for your neighbors or for people in the area, does the government have a right to regulate you, to control you, to tell you how to build it, to tell you what to do in the name of some public safety or something like that? And my answer is no. It does not. The government has no right to regulate business activities, period. Now, if you're building something very risky, your neighbors have, let's say you're building a nuclear power plant and there's a certain radius in which people could be affected. I think your neighbors have a legitimate interest in finding out whether you're engaged in safe behavior. So they have the ability, I think, to use the court system to demand that some expert evaluate the plans, give them an opinion, because their property rights, their lives, are potentially endangered by your behavior. So they have a right to use the government to figure out whether you're endangering them, whether you're being reckless, whether you're being negligent, recklessly negligent, not simple negligent, but recklessly negligent. And if you are being recklessly negligent, they have the right to demand that you fix it, that you correct your actions. They don't have demand to tell you necessarily how to fix it, what to do, and the government doesn't have a role to play here. But they have, through the legal system, a right to tell you, make it so it's not risky to us, or make it so that risk is reduced to the minimum, whatever the legal system establishes as a reasonable risk factor. This is true about reckless driving. There is such a concept as reckless driving. If you're drunk and you're driving, then yeah, the police have a role in stopping you, pulling you over, and stopping you from putting at risk, objective risk, other people that are driving in the street. So, but you have to exhibit that riskless behavior in order for them, or there's certain characteristics. So let's say we know that a certain type of nuclear fusion that results in nuclear energy, has resulted in bad accidents. Well, you have a right to go to the nuclear power plant and say, are you using that? And if they are, you should be able to stop them from using that. But, that is not the government regulating, approving plants, telling nuclear power plants how they should and shouldn't, having regulators go in there every week to inspect, having the ability to shut them down whenever they want at any random moment. You have to have some indication of reckless, dangerous, risky behavior on the part of X, of the part of the nuclear power plant, of the part of the driver, of the part of the business owner, before you can act against them. And that's how a laissez-faire economy would properly work, and a society would properly work. Now, I truly believe that the incentive structures, that the mechanisms for privately, voluntarily regulating these businesses exist on a much more substantial scale on the private sector than they do in when government is regulating. So I actually believe that nuclear power plants would be safer, that fuel depots would be safer, that all these things would actually be safer in a private economy. And you can imagine that insurance companies take up that role, bondholders, the debt holders who actually are the first claimants on risky behavior, take up the role of ensuring that these companies are safe. Shareholders have an incentive of not going bankrupt. There are a lot of entities, and then of course neighborhoods that might be affected by it. You would be involved there. Many, many more mechanisms, and people would take responsibility for what's going on in the world around them in a way that today we kind of hands off. There's the FDA. They're going to take care of me. I don't have to think. I don't have to worry about this. And the market mechanisms that would help prevent bad actors don't exist because government has crowded them out. So the world would be a far safer, better place under laissez-faire capitalism than it is today.